Hey y'all, on this episode of Food for Thought, we're going to talk about how we can be the good that we want to see in the world. Why it is more important now more than ever. We're going to talk about how each of us has this sphere of influence and hundreds, maybe thousands of choice points throughout the day, and how each of those choice points is an opportunity to spread love and kindness. You are powerful, and I want to make you aware of how you can use that power to be a beacon of love and light into the world. Welcome to Food for Thought Friday. It's our day to talk about everything on the blog other than recipes, and it's really my day to kind of just sit down and visit with y'all. I just feel like it's a bit more personal than like typing out an answer to someone's comment, and I've enjoyed interacting with y'all in that way. On that note, if you have any questions for me, any questions about being a professional blogger, or any questions about intuitive eating or recipes or basic cooking questions, anything you want to ask me, just leave them in the comments below and I might do a Q&A episode coming up. Today I want to talk about how we can be the good we want to see in the world. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that our world is in a ton of pain right now, especially when we see things like the Vegas attack and just most recently this week, the terrorist attack in New York. That can cause some really negative, disturbing feelings to come up. And it can also feel very disempowering, like, oh, there's all this evil in the world and there's nothing I can do about it. And that can cause us to focus on a lot of the negative and just kind of stay in that negativity. And I just want to encourage you to be the good that you want to see in the world. It's just so important. And I just want you to be aware of how powerful you are. And like I mentioned at the top of the video, we have hundreds, if not thousands, of these little choice points in our day. Just these points where we make decisions, and each of those are an opportunity to spread love and kindness. And that's pretty profound if you think about it. Things that we just take for granted could be used to spread love and kindness. I believe that it really starts with how we treat ourselves. And I don't mean that in a like egocentric or self-absorbed kind of way. I'm talking about becoming more conscious, doing a self-check on your intentions before you act, and really just trying to have the most loving intention with even the small things in your day. It's also about being very aware of what's going on inside of your own mind and not belittling yourself or judging yourself or being mean to yourself, but just being aware and using that awareness to change how you interact with the world. And the reason I say it starts with how we treat ourselves is because how we treat ourselves is how we treat everyone else. If you see people who are kind of judgy and mean with the world, and then oftentimes those are the people, whether you see it or not, it's the people that are extremely hard on themselves and are kind of judgy and critical with themselves. So if you can start the practice right at home, right within yourself, then what's going to happen is you're going to turn that outward and interact more lovingly with others. And I want to encourage you not to discount the small things. I mean, sometimes it takes so little effort to be loving and kind. And our days and weeks and our lives are made up of a series of these small little moments. And I don't want you to discount the little things, and because when you start practicing love and kindness on the small things, it conditions your brain to behave like that by default. And then when the big choice points come up, that's when it becomes so much easier to make the loving and kind choice. I think how we treat others is so super important. I know I'm not going to get political, so don't worry. I'm just using this as an example. I witnessed how a lot of my own Facebook friends treated each other during the presidential election last November and leading up to that. And it was just really disturbing. Like, I saw people defriend each other over politics and over political comments. It was kind of disturbing. And I noticed that people are really attached to believing that they are correct, or being attached to being right. I recognize that in myself sometimes too, and I try to just let that go. And I think a lot of our unkindness just comes from that egoic place of wanting to be right and wanting to be the one who knows the truth and is on top of things. It is more important to be kind than to be right. And that's not to say that you have to be a doormat. You can speak the truth, or what you believe is the truth, in the spirit of love without mowing someone else over. And again, it just comes down to being a little bit more conscious of what is your intention. Are you intending to prove that you're right, or are you just expressing yourself? Don't discount the small things either. I notice a lot sometimes, like when I am feeding my kids for the zillionth time that day, or when I'm doing like the 5th load of dishes for the day, I can get kind of complainy in my own head, like, ugh, am I doing this again? I feel like all I do is dishes, or whatever the thought is. If you become more conscious of your thoughts, you can kind of intervene with yourself. And the best tool for this, in my opinion, is gratitude. With the dishwashing / food preparing example, if you could just turn those thoughts around consciously and be like, well, I'm so thankful for these beautiful dishes that we got for our wedding. Or I'm so thankful for this wonderful food that we get to enjoy and we don't have to like grow it ourselves. I'm so thankful for my healthy kids that are hungry all the time because they burn off so much energy. Or just, you know, turn it around and try to be thankful for something, and that immediately changes your energy. It changes your whole countenance. Even on the blog, sometimes I get in my head like, I'm like, what am I actually even doing? Do recipes even matter to people? But then I picture a family sitting down to a meal and enjoying it and thinking, if they cooked one of my recipes, maybe I had a little something to do with that. So I just try to have loving and good intentions with everything that I do. Even the things that are seemingly kind of insignificant in the grand scheme of things. When you set the intention to shine the light of love and kindness, it starts to ripple outward, and it eventually will change those in your sphere of influence. And then just because of the energy they're around with your love and kindness, they will become kinder. And then the people in their sphere of influence it'll ripple outward, and it just keeps going. If enough people make the conscious choice to operate this way as much as possible, then that changes our environment. It takes the focus off ourselves in kind of this egoic way, and it makes us more service to others oriented. It kind of takes us out of our head about things that don't really matter and drops us back into the present and being present and aware of what's going on around us. And when we see pain or struggle, a lot of times we can be of assistance, and that just changes everything. Living this way not only makes you feel better in your own thoughts, it can change the world. So I hope y'all enjoyed this Food for Thought Friday, and I hope that you will make the intention to be love and light to someone else and to those in your sphere of influence. I hope y'all have a great week, and I will see you on the next one. Bye. Hi, she's looking at herself for the first time. Hi, you look so cute, my little bumblebee. What's the bee say? Can you buzz? Say it again. What are you, a bumblebee? Bumblebee. Good job. Good job, Bumblebee. Look at you. You're so cute. All right, let's go show Daddy and Bud. Okay.